We've had a lot of people ask us about how we got here. Where are you? Where's your farm? Fire a lot of questions at us. So I thought I would address some of it. I know that a lot of people, there's a big homesteading movement right now, and it is difficult to buy land. Land is expensive, and so a lot of people are always asking, how did you afford it? How did you do it? Well, did it the old-fashioned way. I had investments and some real estate that I owned, and I sold off everything I had and bought the land. We have been working at this for 5 years now. We got the idea when we were engaged and we were planning our wedding, and we started looking for land just before the wedding, and I would say about 8-9 months later, we found the land that we purchased where we're building our house right now. It's over 50 acres. It was out of our budget. We went up there and we took a look at it, and we knew that it was exactly what we wanted. So, on the way home, I was just putting my mind to it, trying to figure out how do I make this happen. So we started looking at things. I sat down, pushed numbers around on paper. What do I have available to me? What can I do? And I went ahead and just liquidated everything I had that had any real value that I could put toward it, and we put it toward it. And that's what we did. And we bought the land, started working it. Right away, we tried to get a logger on. We had to fire the first logger. He wasn't doing his job the way he was supposed to. Wasn't clear cutting it the way we wanted to. We had a plan to put apple trees on there so that we could start making apple cider. And in order to do that, I needed to have them clear enough of the property so that I could plant the trees. And I ended up, because my plan was always to pull the stumps, I bought an excavator. The plan was buy the excavator, use it for 2 years, and sell it. It's been 5 years now, and I have no plans to sell it. We figured we'd get most of the money back if we did that, versus trying to get land stumped. Runs about $2,000 an acre. So we got in there and started pushing the trees down ourselves, since we had to get rid of that first logger. I would push them down, cut the stumps off. Jafana would come in, and she was running the tractor with a grapple on it, and she would grab the stumps and take them and pile them up. And then we would put chains on the trees and drag them out 2 and 3 at a time. She was doing that, and my son-in-law was doing that. It was a crazy amount of work. My spring break for 2016 was spent up there. The kids came up and worked for a week, and everybody was up there working, clearing stuff. And I took 2 full weeks off. When I wasn't turning wrenches on the excavator because it broke down, I spent the rest of that time pushing down trees and dragging them out. We managed to clear 3 acres of land in that time, and we went in there and we planted a bunch of trees. And over the next couple of months, we cleared a few more acres so that we could get that cleared and put in our first 500 apple trees. To fund all the equipment and the improvements and the building of the house, I have, for the last almost 20 years, lived as far below my means as I possibly could. I had a good job. We paid off our vehicles, and we did not buy new ones. We drove used vehicles, spent the money necessary to fix them up, keep running them, repaired the house ourselves, did our own lawn work, ate at home a lot. We were still able to put some money aside, go on a vacation. But for the most part, I lived below my means, which allowed me to build up equity in my house. I was able to make additional payments. I also owned some rental property. And that rental property I almost fell into because I had bought a house in the late 90s and couldn't sell it when I wanted to move out of it. So I started renting it just to cover the expenses, and figured out after a little while that it wasn't too bad of a deal. And I bought several other houses to rent over the next few years, and I bought other houses to fix up and sell. Didn't get rich off of it, but I did acquire some assets. So when it came time for me to pull everything together to get some down payment money on my land, I had that. And then I had my house paid off, which allowed me to go ahead and use that as my own personal bank. Instead of having to go explain my plan to a bank, which I don't think would have bought into it, I was able to just go sit down and get an equity line. That way I was able to find the best deal I could on tractor, excavator, hire the people I needed to hire to do things, and buy the things I needed to buy so that we could start working on stuff. We just got in there and we did it. We had no idea. I never ran a tractor before I bought one. Javana had run one because she used to move irrigation pipe during the summertime in high school. I've never done anything like that. I never ran an excavator until I owned one. I just got out there and did it. I knew it had to be done. The cheapest way for me to get it done was to get out there and get it done. That's what we did. I had another logger come in. That's a whole nother story. There's a lot that I would have done differently in the way that I dealt with the loggers. They left a lot of debris that they weren't supposed to leave, and I've been trying to clean that mess up for a few years now, and I got a few more years of mess cleaning. But we got the place cleared, got the fields cleared that we needed to, and we started working on stuff. I needed to get a road built to the site. I started talking to a few people about getting a bridge built, and found out very quickly that getting a bridge built over a creek was going to be an extraordinary amount of money. We're talking just about $40,000. So I built it myself. It was a lot of work. There's no shortage of work associated with that. That was a heck of a lot of work. Then I needed a road, another quarter mile of road built. So I brought in a few people and got some quotes. I had one that I agreed upon. He was supposed to start and he never started. And for 3 weeks, I kept getting excuses, and finally I called the dude up and told him he was fired. And I went ahead and built the road myself. And I think I built a better road than what they had quoted they were going to do. The road they were going to build me probably would have been a continual maintenance issue. And the one I built had drainage and swales built into it, so that I don't have those issues. So far, that road has been relatively maintenance-free. I've had to put 2 loads of number 3 rock on it. That's railroad ballast. That's heavy-duty stuff. I haven't put any kind of top coating on it yet. That will come in the future. But right now, it's doing what it needs to do, and it's quite stable. We pulled a trailer up there, put a trailer in place. After we got that trailer in place, we started coming up and staying there on the weekends, and all of our vacations happened in that trailer on that land, working the orchard, working the land, burning debris. Then I started clearing the home site. Clearing the home site is a chore, but we got it done. Had somebody come in and build our foundation for us. They came in and they built that foundation for us. I started working on the rough plumbing. We got that in. Once that was finished, they were able to come in and do more of the foundation work. We put in the insulation, and I put in 3,000 feet of PEX tubing so that we can heat the slab. Then they finished the foundation. At this point, time's marching on. I've got 2 kids that are graduating from high school, and I've got another one that's got a couple years of high school left. So I went ahead and rented a house and started living close to the build so that she could have her last 2 years of high school in one spot. My road trip is over. I'm back home. I'm going to go ahead and bring everything up to date. That got us up here with about 2 years to spare. For the last 2 years, we've been working on that house, getting everything in place, getting the other house sold, getting ourselves fully moved up and invested in living in the mountains. We got all of our materials in place and we started building the house. And right about that time is when I started making videos and started documenting everything. So I think that brings everything up to speed. I appreciate y'all watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're interested in this story and follow along. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in the comments and we'll try to address them when we can. Come on back and check us out again at Break Heart Orchard. We'll see you then.